Good morning, it's Brenda Quintana here, and after 3 weeks I am finally back doing Facebook Lives on Tuesday morning. It has been a bit of a whirlwind of 3 weeks since my last Facebook Live. If you want to skip ahead, if you're watching this on YouTube, please feel free to fast forward. You don't need to necessarily listen to what's going on in my life. Some people want to know because they've been following me for a while, so it is up to you. So anyway, I had a great time with my team in San Antonio. That's where one of the Stampin' Up! On stage locations was at. And it was so great having some of my team in the same location, and we all got to sit at the same table and stamp together and have dinner together. And it was absolutely fabulous. I came back from that, turned around, had a day here, and then I flew out to British Columbia. That is where I grew up, and I helped out my parents for a week. My mom broke her hip a few weeks back, and she's recovering nicely, and that's awesome. I'm so glad. But at the same time, even though when you recover from broken hip and hip surgery, there is still some recovery time. She also complicated it. She broke her wrist, and it was her left hand, but she's left-handed, so it's harder for her to recover because she can't. She's has a harder time now in the kitchen because she can't get her cast wet and she can't drive, so there's some little challenges for her to overcome. But in a few weeks' time, she should be able to be back into her normal routine, and so I'm very happy about that. I'm glad that I got to spend the time there. Unfortunately, that means I won't be going out to visit them on Mother's Day. I changed my flight to go earlier in April. But it feels like I haven't been home for a while, and I'm still kind of adjusting to the whole being back and getting back into the whole swing of things. Another cool thing that happened, and if you are my friend on Facebook, my son is graduating from high school this year, and he finally chose where he's going to go, and he's going to the University of Waterloo. If you're from the US, you might be going, where is Waterloo? Waterloo is in Canada, in a city called Waterloo, and it is a great university that is known for engineering, and that is what my son will be studying, engineering. And they do co-op, which is fabulous. I think I read recently that it is the largest co-op program in the world for post-secondary studies. So it's a very cool program. They put a lot of effort into the co-op, and for engineering it is mandatory. So when my son studies, he will be working and studying on and off. So it will be great. It will be really weird next year not having him here, but my husband and I both went to the University of Waterloo, and my husband did study engineering. I did not, and so I think he will be in good hands. It's going to be a very tough program, but it's exciting, and yeah, I think he's really looking forward to it. So that is happening. And and I have to thank everyone, all my customers and followers and my team members. I earned over the last weeks while I was gone, I earned the next incentive trip, which is to Maui. And I've never been to Hawaii before, so this is just going to be so cool. That trip takes place not this summer but next summer, so I'm really looking forward to that. And thank you so much if you've placed an order with me, if you've supported me, if you follow me. That all helps me, and I really appreciate that because this allows me to take my family on a trip, and it is just wonderful for us because we love to travel, and traveling is expensive, and so we get to go to places where we might not choose to go because of the expense, and it allows us to travel to a great new fabulous place. So thank you so much for that. So today is Casing Tuesday, and it's the day when we grab our catalogs and we pick a card out of the catalog. It's the same card for everyone, and we take turns picking, and this card that we choose, then we use that as inspiration for creating a new card. Now, sometimes people create the exact same card that's in the catalog, and that's perfectly fine. I tend to go and do something different because I like to challenge myself, and so that is what I have done today. The nice thing about this group is that you can join in. It's not just for me, it's not just for our bloggers, it is for you too, and it's a great way for you to challenge yourself to use your products and see what you can come up with. And we're very supportive and friendly on our group, and so don't feel like you have to be a mastermind, or you don't have to have stamped 10 years in order to, feel comfortable. It's about being creative and trying to create a card with a starting point in mind. And most of us have access to the catalog, so it is a great way to learn how to stamp, because you have a sample that's probably pretty in front of you, and you can use that as a template or a building block to create your own card. And you will find that as you do that, you will get better at stamping. You will be exposed to different styles because we pick the cards, not you picking the cards. So even for myself, I've been stamping, I've been stamping like over 15 years now. I have a certain style, and some of the cards that people pick, like including today's card, it is not my style. I would never create a card like this out of the blue because I am a very controlled person, and this card is a little random. So it is good for me to try something new that is not in my ballpark. So I am going to turn the camera around and show you today's card. I also get to show you a couple of the new upcoming in colors that are coming in. You could create this card with current colors too. You would just fudge a little bit on the colors, but I'll show you the colors that I used that are coming up, and I think you're going to love them. All right, let me turn this around. I have kind of a crazy view this morning. It is a little bit overcast. Thank you for everyone who's joined me this morning. I'm gonna pop my card around. I have a host code going for April. It's almost done, but if you order from me in April, I always have a special gift that I send out for people who place orders with me. And your order needs to be at least $75 for that. I also, for smaller orders and also for bigger orders, no matter what size order you place, as long as it's more than $15, I also send out a free tutorial that you can choose from my collection. Okay, so here is the card that we are copying today, and it has all these random leaves coming down the middle. Not a card that I would create. It's very pretty, but it's not my style, so I have to get out of my comfort zone. So this is what I ended up creating. I wanted to do something a little bit more spring-like, so I'm using here the Butterfly Gala Bundle, and this bundle, you can only get it as a bundle until June 3rd is the last day that you can buy this as a bundle, because once it appears in the annual catalog, they don't bundle it anymore. The bundle pricing is for the first appearance in the catalog. And if you've been following this bundle, this bundle has been very in demand, so much so that it went on not orderable status for a long time. So if you haven't already gotten it, now is a great time to get it because you can save 10%. And it is just a cute and happy bundle. You've got the small butterfly, the large butterfly, and then you've got lots of different types of butterflies that you can stamp, and they look cute, cute little greetings. So it's a great little bundle. So how did I make this card? Let's start off by stamping some butterflies. I've got some pieces of Whisper White here. These are just scrap pieces. They're about 2 inches by 5.5 inches. So I'm using some new in colors, and these are going to be available in June. And normally I don't showcase new products too much before they become available, but I'm going to intersperse a little bit of new product in with my samples from now until the new catalog starts, just to give you a taste of what's coming up. The Butterfly Gala Bundle is available now. These 2 colors are not. The first one is Terracotta Tile, and the second one is Pretty Peacock, and I use them to stamp the butterflies. So let's grab the first one. This is Terracotta Tile. Let me open that up, and I'm just going to stamp this on one end. I find it's easier when stamping the butterfly to have like kind of a long skinny piece so that it fits into the punch really nicely. So I'm just going to stamp down Terracotta Tile. Now this color is just a little bit lighter and brighter than Cajun Craze. I find when I stamp Cajun Craze, it's a little dark for me, and it almost doesn't look orange, where I find Terracotta Tile actually does look in the orange field. It's a nice bright kind of rust color, so I really quite like it. Let me stamp that, and let me clean off my stamp off camera here. I love my chamois. So I've got my old Stampin' Scrub on one side, and I've got my chamois on the other side, and this starts to look really gross and yucky, but you just wet it every day at the beginning of your stamping day, and it just takes the ink right off. It's really great if you're using the Stamparatus, because you really need a clean stamp in order to do the positioning, so I love it for that reason. So let me open up Pretty Peacock. And this is just a beautiful dark blue green. It works well with Bermuda Bay. You can see it here a little bit. See, this is Bermuda Bay, and then this, the stamped image is the Pretty Peacock. So it works well with our existing blues, especially the blue-green. So let me just stamp that down here. Clean that off again. And then the last color I'm using is not a new ink color, but it actually was a new color last year. It's called Gorgeous Grape. Stamp that. Ooh, squeaky ink pads. Chose 3 dark colors. All right. And then we're going to take the Butterfly Duet Punch, open it up, and we're going to just punch out these guys. Now, some of these you're going to need more than one big butterfly. I've already punched some extras so that I don't have to stamp and punch all the colors twice. So just once that looks good, just give it a punch. And I'm going to have to add the little bodies onto here, but I find it's better to punch first and then stamp the body because it's easier to position the body afterwards. So let me just go ahead and punch these guys first. Okay. Oh, and then one other thing I do want to do, I have to stamp these or still color them. I need to create my little greeting layer. So I'm going to use the 1.5 inch circle punch. I'm going to punch first. I don't know why I'm punching first. You can punch second too. It doesn't really matter. And I'm going to use the Pretty Peacock again. And I'm using this little greeting that says, "Hello, beautiful." And yeah, like I said, you probably should have stamped first and then punched out. I think the reason I did it this way for the first time is because I wanted to see if that greeting would fit onto my little circle, because sometimes they don't fit. You think they're going to fit and they don't. All right, then I need these little tiny bodies again, and I keep putting my ink pads away when I actually still need them. So let's start off. This is Pretty Peacock, and I've got the body for Pretty Peacock, the body for the butterfly, and I'm just going to hover it over the center like that, and then I'm going to do the same for the other butterfly. Then I need to clean those off and grab my next color. And this is the Gorgeous Grape on Gorgeous Grape. It's just so much easier to do this after you've punched it out. And I do recommend putting the bodies in, because if you look at the difference between these two, you've got like that white sticking out, and if you don't put the body in the center, it just looks a little weird. So it is a good idea to add the little body to the middle of the butterfly. And you could theoretically just leave the little butterflies like that. They look cute just as is, but if you want to, you can add a little bit of Stampin' Blends. And so I will use, this is the light Calypso Coral, and I'm using that on the terracotta tile, and I'm just coming in and I'm just going to add just a little bit of color to the tips of the wings and one little striped band here in the center. So that just adds just a little bit of color. Then I'm using the light Highland Heather on the Gorgeous Grape butterfly, and just adding a wee bit of color. Just helps with the overall look. And then last but not least, this is the Bermuda Bay Light, and I'm using the brush tip on an angle so I don't break down the tip, but I'm doing this really quickly. If you use the bullet tip, it doesn't matter. It would just take a little longer because you can't cover as much surface area. Okay, so then I stamped a whole bunch more butterflies so that I have more than I need, but that way I can build my card. So to build my card, I'll start with a Bermuda Bay card base. This one is 11 inches by 4 1/4 inches, and I've scored it in half at the 5 1/2 inch mark. It helps to help lay your card flat. I'm just using my bone folder to make that fold stay down flat. This is a piece of Tea Room Designer Series paper. This one will be retiring really soon, so if you like this paper, go ahead and get it soon, because it is it will be out of commission soon. I like this paper. It's a little lighter than normal paper, and oh, I'm gonna run across and just grab a little box that I made with it. This piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. It's just a little bit smaller, and I'm not going to center the layer. I'm going to put it in the top right hand corner, kind of line it up like that, and then smooth it down. It is just a really pretty light paper. Let me grab that little box I made. All right, so this is a little box that I made out of the tea room paper. Isn't it pretty? This one is, I think I made it out of 8.5 by 8.5 square. So I just wanted to tell you that this is great paper if you like to do origami. It's not quite the shiny finish of the origami paper, but it's a little lighter when you're folding it. I love our designer series paper, but it's not always the best for origami because it's a little thicker. But this paper is perfect for doing those little boxes. I do have a tutorial for this. I did this a long time ago. It was actually turned into an Easter basket, but they make cute little boxes. And if you make them in different size squares, so if I would make it with a 12 by 12 square, a 10 by 10, an 8 by 8, and a 6 by 6, you can do these nesting boxes. So they're just cute little boxes that you can fold relatively quickly. And I'm just using them right now. I'm saving the elastic bands that come wrapped around my mail, because there's a couple of reasons. I use them at the end of the year when bundles retire. I put my framelits and I wrap them around the stamp set and the framelits so they stay together. And I also use these to help my rolls of ribbon from unraveling in my drawers. So I need to do a quick little tip tutorial on that, because that's actually kind of a fun little idea that you can use to help your ribbon. But anyway, these boxes are really cute. This one I think was 8.5 by 8.5, but you can see, like, if you had one of like a bigger one, you could nest it, and that's kind of fun. All right, you know, I don't know if I can remember how to make one real quick on here. I might get stuck. That's why I'm kind of scared to do it, because I don't make them very often, and I'm like, that would be terrible if I got stuck on my very own tutorial, but it's been such a long time. I'll see. If it's not too late when I finish, then I'll see if I can whip one up on camera so you can see how to do it. Okay, so I'm going to just run a piece of tear and tape. This is a piece of white flax ribbon. This is going to carry over into the catalog, so that's great. That makes me happy. It is kind of a nice neutral ribbon. I am using tear and tape because this ribbon is hard. It's like hard to stick down with regular glue. Uh-oh. Okay, I've got my point going in the opposite direction, but that's okay. Let me see how far I put this over. About here. And this is kind of how I'm going to just build my whole card off of this. So then you kind of just like figure out how you want your butterflies. You're going to need 2 purple ones. So I'm using tear and tape this time because I'm going right over top of that flax ribbon. So I'm just kind of putting a diagonal of tear and tape onto each of the butterflies I'm going to be using. So I've got 2 purples. I need 1 peacock. And I need 2 terracotta butterflies. And that way, because I have that kind of cross beam going. Hopefully the adhesive will stay solid on there. So for the first butterfly, I'm going to grab one of these gorgeous grape ones. And this one is just going to kind of come on here, center it like that. And I'll take my second one. And I'm just going to kind of position this one kind of coming off like that. Then I'll need one of these blue ones, or pretty peacock ones. And this one's going to come around like this. Let me just position it like that. Then this one needs to come here, but I don't want to glue that down yet because I want to get one of these underneath. So I'm just going to grab this, and I just kind of need to see where I need to position that. So I'm just leaving like a little gap right there. And then I need one more that's going to come like that. So let me grab some tear and tape and put it on the back of this circle. And just remove the backing. Okay, so I'm going to stick this down there. And then this little guy is just going to come and it's going to overlap right about there. Okay, and then I'll need a little mini glue dot, and I've pre-tied a bow, kind of a double bow with baker's twine. And I'm just going to take my paper piercing tool. It is retiring, by the way, which I'm kind of sad about because I actually really do use the paper piercing tool a lot. I kind of rolled my glue dot up into a little blob, so it's not quite flat anymore. And then I'll just stick my bow right on top of there. Oh, and then I just want to add a couple more little butterflies. So I just thought they would look kind of cute, positioned into my little thing like that. So you just use some mini glue dots for that. And you can just stick one right in the center of each of the butterflies. Oops. And that just adds just a little something, a little dimension too, because they're not completely flat on the surface. So you can just add them like that. And see how nicely this pretty peacock plays with the Bermuda. It's the Bermuda Bay. It's really a nice color. The two of them really look nice together, the dark and the light. So I'm hoping that when we get some new papers and stuff, I'll be able to do some more playing with that. So there is the card. And it has that kind of same effect as the leaves on the original card. But I've got butterflies instead since it's spring and not fall. And, you know, it's just fun to play around with these butterflies because they're just so cute. I don't know if there's a wrong way to use these butterflies because they're just so pretty. So there you go. All right, let's see if I can make an origami basket. Shall we try that? Okay. So I've got some paper left. What color should I use? This one. This is a lot of pressure. I don't know if I'm going to be able to remember how to do this. I might have to do another tutorial. So I don't remember which one pattern needs to be up or down in order to do this, but you need to start off by folding this. This is a 12 by 12 piece. I'm folding this first in half and then in half again. A lot of pressure here. See if I can remember how to do this. All right. So half and half, and then you're going to flip it over. I think, yes. Yes, we're going to flip it over. And now we're going to fold it in half diagonally. And then open it up and fold it in half diagonally again. Okay, and then you're still keep it on the diagonal, and then you're going to bring this in, like just bring it in. Okay, so you have this diagonal in front of you. And now I think I did this wrong. Did I do it wrong? Yes, I did it wrong. I think I have to do the diagonal first. Diagonal first. I think I have to do the squares last. Yes. Okay. Let me just revamp that. Starting again, you start off with a diagonal first, okay? So you do the diagonal first on both sides, and then you're going to do the matching, like if you do it in half, just lengthwise, and then half again lengthwise, okay? Then you're going to pick it up on the half right here. So it's folded in half like this. You're gonna bring it in like this, okay? All right, I'm starting to remember this. And then you're going to bring down this piece halfway down, and then bring this again halfway up, and then bring this like that. Okay, I think you have to flip this over now to the other side, and then fold this down, and then halfway up. I will make sure I post the link to the actual tutorial that I did many years ago, which actually has the very correct way to do this. All right, then you need to open this like you're opening up a page in a book, okay? And you're going to fold this side in to the center, like that, and also this side into the center. Then you're going to go back in the book like you're reading a few pages ago. So turn a page, turn one more page, then bring this into the center, and then bring this one into the center, and then fold it back. Okay, so now you have this weird shape. So you're going to have these two bends here like that. So you're going to hold on to those two bends on either side. So you're just going to start to open this up and open it up like a box. If these guys go wonky, you just bring them back in. Okay. Bring them back in. You're trying to make a flat box. Then fold this back. Turn around, fold this back. Okay, so you can see the box is already kind of taking shape. Now we just need to fold these guys forward into the box. Okay, and then do the same right here. This one gets, instead of folding it out, fold it along the exact same line and fold it down. Now, one thing you can do to help these little flaps stay down, just open this up and just add some snail, a little bit of adhesive. So when you fold this back, you can now stick it right into the bottom of the box and it won't pop out like this one's doing. And you can do this again if you turn it the right way. And then fold it back in like that. And there is the 12 by 12 origami box. It's like an open-ended box, and if you can nest them. So this one was, I think I made it out of 8.5 by 8.5. It could have been 8 by 8. It's around that. Then you could do one on the in-between size, and there would be like a 10 by 10 one that would fit in here, and then you could do a 6 by 6 one, and then you have a series of nesting boxes that are kind of fun to use for different things on your desk. So yeah, that wasn't the most elegant tutorial you've ever seen from me because I forgot which way I folded first. But you kind of get the idea, and I will post a link to that Easter basket tutorial that I did, and it's a little bit more edited than what I just did for you right there. But anyway, that's kind of fun, and I know you can use that. This is, remember, this is a good paper. Let me grab that paper. It is the Tea Room Specialty paper, and this one is not going to be available for too much longer because it is retiring. So if you want this paper, be sure to get it sooner rather than later. These papers are only available while supplies last, or until June 3rd is the last day you can order it. All right. Okay, let me turn the camera around. Oh, before I do, I'm going to check to make sure there's not any questions. If you have a question, now would be a great time to post it because I am about to sign off. Okay. All right, let me turn this around. I saw, Michelle, you said just link the video in the comments. I can add it to the comments, and I can add it to the description as well. I don't know if that's what you meant. I am not quite as Facebook savvy as some of you out there, and I love it when you make comments like that, because then I think, how do I do that? I'm also doing this off of my iPhone, and I don't have another screen that I'm working off of, so that also makes it a little different for me. I don't have a great Facebook Live setup like some of you do. I need to emulate that a little bit better, but yeah, I will definitely grab that link right away and add it to this video so that you can have a look at it, because that little tutorial I did was just not my best stellar performance, but I just kind of thought of that on the fly and didn't really think about, maybe I should brush up on my little tutorial beforehand. So anyway, I hope you guys will join me over on the Facebook, the Casing Tuesday Facebook group. If you want to join the group, there's a link in the description of my video. Just go ahead and click on that, and I will get you approved. And then you can join us and share your sample with us. I'd love to see it. And if you have any stamping questions, just leave them down below, and I will answer them as soon as I can. So I hope you guys have a great week, and I will be back next Tuesday with another Facebook Live. All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.